Just Eric Burris. It is 10:21. We are just now inside an hour from planned liftoff of the SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket as it is lifting off on mission AX-1 or the AX-1 mission. This is 4 commercial astronauts heading to the International Space Station, and we've got you covered every step of the journey. Let's first start off with a live look on our weather camera here on the First Warning Weather Lab. We are at the Port St. John boat ramp. We are beautiful weather-wise. A few high thin clouds. We are going to continue certainly to monitor changes in weather. I will say that the one thing that I have noticed in terms of weather adjustments has been the breeze picking up, and we're going to be watching those wind speeds very, very closely over the next few minutes time. 11:17 is where SpaceX is launching, or at least that's the window. They're expecting a liftoff at 11:17 and 11 seconds. That is T-0 for this launch. 90% chance of good weather. That is the good news for right now. That is the good news. 90% chance of good weather. We're going to go through all the different dynamics when it comes to launch weather today. But for now, the good news is that things are looking promising, to say the least. Let's change things up and just check in and see what's doing. This is our tower cam network looking over at the Kennedy Space Center. That's Launch Complex 39A. That is where Falcon 9 is standing. The 4-astronaut crew is on board Dragon capsule Endeavour. It's the Crew Dragon on the top of the rocket. Endeavour has flown several times. The first stage of this has actually flown 4 times already. This will be the 5th launch for the first stage. So at this point, what we're waiting for, kind of last second checks, and at about 10:32, so about 10 minutes from now, the launch director from SpaceX is going to verify whether or not they are go for prop loading. And at that point in time, things are going to start happening quickly, okay? At that point in time, we're going to immediately transition from prop loading to the crew access arm retracting. They're going to arm the Dragon launch escape system, and they're going to, by about 10:42 or T-minus 35 minutes, they're going to start loading RP1 or rocket grade kerosene into the first stage of the rocket. At T-minus 16 minutes, the second stage, liquid oxygen, starts, and essentially venting is going to start happening by about T-minus 7 minutes or so. That's going to be the big one. Once you start seeing the venting, that's how you know that this puppy is going to be ready to fly. At least weather-wise, I'm happy to say things are looking good. The latest weather report coming in from the Kennedy Space Center is actually improved just a little bit over the last few moments' time, okay? Just a few moments ago, we saw gusts in the 20-mile-per-hour range. Happy to say that the winds have calmed down just a little bit, now sustained at 12 miles an hour or so. Temperatures out here are looking absolutely wonderful. 12-mile-per-hour winds. Temperatures are in the mid-60s. Here from my vantage point, we are just across the Indian River, and we're registering a temperature which has already climbed to 72 degrees. It looks great. It feels great outside. The overall idea, and this is a graphic I'm going to hang on for a little while, okay? Follow with me, all right? So launch happens. It's going to go straight up, and then they're going to kind of like you used to see with the space shuttle, it would roll and kind of start turning out to sea. That's exactly what still happens. And as it makes that kind of trajectory to move off the shoreline, it is eventually heading north and east, okay? That's the trajectory label there on the screen that we're looking at. That's fine. That's good stuff, okay? At that point in time, obviously, you're going to have 2 things happening. You're going to have the rocket going. The first stage will eventually separate, come back to Earth, and then the second stage will continue on and lift them into low Earth orbit, okay? That said, there is concerns for weather along that route because should there be the need for an in-flight abort, The Draco engines on the Dragon capsule basically launch in explosive fashion, pull the crew capsule away from the rocket, at which point then would parachute down in an abort procedure, and you have to be able to go get that. So the ocean conditions, the weather conditions along that trajectory, very, very important. That's step one. Step two, that first stage comes down and lands on the drone ship, a short fall of gravitas, okay? That X marks the spot essentially where 8 minutes, T plus 8 minutes, that's where we're looking at the booster landing. Now, we've been monitoring ocean conditions in this area the entire morning, and the ocean conditions haven't really adjusted much. 6 to 8 feet is what we're looking at in terms of the ocean conditions at that point, okay? So that's looking good. If there is a mid-flight abort procedure, for now it looks good. So far, so good. Super happy to see that. So again, all things are looking good for launch this morning. Futurecast continues to look good for launch. We check in with our first warning live Doppler radar. It continues to look good. Wind speeds, though, have up. As I mentioned, the winds at the Kennedy Space Center no longer gusty per se, but we are seeing sustained winds at the Kennedy Space Center at 12 miles an hour. Cape Canaveral Space Force Station checking in at 20 miles an hour. Mark's asking, Kathy's asking, what time is liftoff? SpaceX is targeting 11:17 this morning for liftoff, okay? Andreas is asking, what time is the launch? 11:17. And of course, we are going to have live team coverage for you on air and online on our social channels, WESH2, WESH.com, the WESH2 mobile app, obviously on all of the other social channels in between, okay? So any questions, any comments, any concerns? Wind shear, mid and upper levels of the atmosphere at about 40,000 feet. So once you get up slightly above, most commercial jetliners will fly 28 to about 36,000 feet, depending on distance, depending on winds. Most commercial jetliners fly in the 30,000 foot range. When you get to about 40,000 and above, that's where we're actually noticing a jet streak over top of us. And based on that, there is some subtle concern of winds. It's still within range, so we're still good, but it's definitely one of those action items that we're watching. But for now, 90% chance of good weather. Should start prop load here in the next couple of moments' time. And of course, we will be updating you throughout the morning. Bonnie's asking, will we hear a sonic boom? Because this one is landing its first stage on a drone ship off the coast of the Carolinas, we are not expecting a sonic boom in Central Florida. If that was the case, it would be more of a kind of a trajectory, and we would be using the landing zone 1 or landing zone 2. That is not the case today. Okay? All right, so no sonic booms. Weather's looking good. Live update on WESH2 and all of our social media platforms at 11 a.m. sharp. We've got live crews scattered about the Space Coast. We've got Scott Heidler over at the Kennedy Space Center. Anika Hope is down at Jetty Park, and I am in Port St. John at the boat ramp tracking weather conditions. And, to be honest with you, look outside. This is our vantage point from the boat ramp. There have been plenty of nice people out trying to enjoy this morning's weather. I certainly can understand that. It is absolutely beautiful. Weather conditions have been great for any outdoor activities. Certainly it will be a good day, I think, for the launch. Here's a live look from our tower cam network over at Launch Complex 39. You can see a helicopter. Actually, no, that's a bird flying on the left side. Right now, what we're waiting for is confirmation that ground crews have left Launch Complex 39, at which point in time they will start to poll all of the different folks and listen to the launch director. If he gives the go to fuel, that's usually a really good indicator that the weather is going to be good and that the conditions and all of the systems are good for liftoff. All right? All right, we will see you for a live special report at 11 o'clock. But for now, live from the First Warning Weather Lab, I'm meteorologist Eric Burris. See you at 11.